walking in the door right now. And unfortunately, I woke up this morning, filmed the weather, and thought, yeah, let's do a go to work with me vlog. And unfortunately, after reviewing some of that content, I realized it was really awful. And I didn't even want to watch it, so there was no way that I was going to make you all... Where's my lights? I don't even know where my lights are. There was no way I was going to make you guys watch that, so we had to reinvent the wheel a little bit, and unfortunately, you just get me talking to you a little bit now, and I thought we could do a little bit of a Q&A, because after I posted my last video and after I asked the content question on my Instagram, what do you guys want to see, I've got heaps of answers and replies, and I'd really love to address some of those with you all because I found quite a few of them to be relatively interesting questions. Alright, so I'm going to start off this video with Q&As that you guys sent in to my Instagram account, and for privacy and anonymity's sake, I'm not going to be saying who sent them in, but you know who you are, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So, the first question was, how long does it typically take you to learn the choreography for a 2-hour ballet? So, for example, a 2-hour ballet, or roughly 2 hours and some, would be something like the Nutcracker or Giselle, and I'm using these two as examples because I've just danced those this season with Birmingham Royal Ballet. And this is a question that can be answered very differently depending on what dancer you ask, because each company works at their own pace. They have a different performance schedule, so there are some companies that are working on multiple ballets at the same time, some that just do one by one, so really this is a question that could have an infinite amount of answers. Personally speaking, and working with the Birmingham Royal Ballet, we are a very fast-paced moving company. We are sometimes rehearsing up to 3 to 5 different ballets at one time, and oftentimes, because we are a touring company, we are dancing one ballet on the road and rehearsing a different one as we go through the process. So we actually, since Giselle was the first thing we did this season, we had a little bit more time to work on that. So we had about 3 weeks to do that. It was about 2 weeks in the studio with learning it and putting it together and doing full runs within the studio. And then we had about 3 days worth of being on stage. So the first time was just a stage call, marking it basically, putting it on spatially and just with the piano rehearsal, and then we had our costume stage call and then a general rehearsal, which is basically a dress rehearsal with invited audience members. So all together, 2.5 weeks is pretty much the turnaround time for this company. And the way Birmingham Royal Ballet works as well is very interesting in the fact that we have staff members whose sole purpose and sole job in the company is to be in charge of teaching the choreography. It's, the proper term is called a répéteur. And we have the lovely Patricia Tierney and Dennis Bonner, who are on our faculty, and they are amazing. I don't even know how they keep track of all these ballets. They come in with these massive binders with pages and pages and pages and pages in it, and honestly, we will just blast through the choreography. I mean, Willie's is not crazy. I mean, if you've been in a ballet company before, if you've done that ballet before, which I have done when I was with Houston Ballet, Giselle is Giselle. There's obviously different versions, but for the most part, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And so we were able to learn all of Willie's in 2 days, basically. Of course, you know, we just went through, got the majority of it done, and then went back and kind of did the more finesse detail work. But yeah, we move very quickly because we do a lot of shows, and the expectation as a professional dancer in this company is to be able to pick it up, keep it, got it good. If we need to refer back to anything to help us remember, we have a Vimeo account that's private. Unfortunately, it's not accessible to the public, and this is just a tool that the dancers use, not only to help them learn their choreography. It's a tool for you to be able to watch different spots or different parts if you're learning more than one place within that ballet. And spatially as well, because a lot of these are archival videos, you can see them on stage, and so it just gives you a little bit more awareness for what you are going to be doing. Okay, so the next question, well actually these are two questions, and they're kind of on a similar topic, both about food, so I will answer this one kind of in part one, part two. First part is, do you have to stay on a really strict diet during show seasons? So yes and no for me, and again, this is a question that could have an infinite amount of answers, and this would be different dancer to dancer, so this is just only my own personal routine, what I do. As far as having a diet for performances goes, you know, Birmingham Royal Ballet is a premier touring company, so if we're not dancing here in Birmingham, we are on tour all the time, and so we have a sometimes difficult time with keeping a normal diet because we are traveling so much and we don't always have access to our own kitchen at home. So yeah, obviously when I'm at home, I'm able to cook and do everything my own way, do my meal prep, and eat what I would normally eat to be successful for my performances. But when I'm on tour, we have options now. They give us a tour allowance and a per diem, so we have the choice to take that money and find our own accommodation, whether it be a hotel or an Airbnb, or we're given an option to stay in the company hotel where they take care of our accommodation and the rest of the money is for us to spend on food, toiletries, whatever your heart desires. So as far as the diet goes, I don't have any crazy dietary restrictions. I try to stay away from dairy when I can. I'm not vegan or vegetarian or anything, but I do not eat any fish if it comes from a body of water or swims or looks like it could be something that you found at a beach. I won't touch it. And I think I just attribute that to growing up and being a little girl at the beach and seeing little fishies in the ocean, and I never wanted to try that. My parents both were also not big seafood eaters, so that personally, that wasn't something that was on the dinner table growing up, just because they didn't like fish so much, I wasn't given it, and then, of course, when I was exposed to it and given opportunities to try it, I just personally did not like it, so I don't eat that. So yeah, on tour you have to be a bit inventive. I usually spend my tour salary on, you know, I mean, I don't really go out and have dinner. I mean, sometimes the first night when we arrive, we can go out and have dinner places with my friends. Honestly, the most convenient thing to do is just to pick up little ready-made meals at little convenience stores, grocery stores that were nearby, or just if I really need it, which is, depending on what we're dancing, pretty frequently I'll just call room service, which is really nice. I can pretty much call and order whatever I want because they usually put us in hotels that have nice accommodation, and I'm able to get what I need that way. And then the part two to that is, do you ever have cheat days where you go out and eat McDonald's and do shots, or can you not afford to do that? Okay, so as far as a salary goes, I think I'll have to save that for another conversation, maybe talking about financials and money management as a ballet dancer. As far as McDonald's and shots go, no, I don't. I'm not a huge McDonald's fan. I can say when I was younger that was definitely an occurrence, but at this point in my life, you know, everything in moderation. I personally don't eat at McDonald's. I try to make better choices, and if I am going to have something sweet or something that would be considered a cheat, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere. And as far as shots or, well, yeah, I guess alcoholic beverages, I don't drink at all. I don't really like the taste of it, and at a younger age in my life, I had some family members who really struggled behind the bottle and had some troubles with alcoholism, and so that it didn't scare me, it didn't put me off, but seeing that and seeing the effects that it had on people that I loved and people that I cared about really stuck with me. And as I got older and got to an age where I was exposed to it and around it more, of course I tried things. Of course I wanted to be able to say someday when I grow up, you know, or to my future child, like, oh yeah, don't bother wasting your time on that, or whatever, you know. For me personally, I don't enjoy it. I don't like the taste. I don't like the feeling of it in my body, so I choose not to drink. I've mentioned before in previous videos, I am a huge smoothie and juice person. Love that. And I'm not ashamed of not drinking at all. There's plenty of people who don't do it. And in fact, you can ask any of my friends when I've gone out with them, I will happily carry around water in a champagne or martini glass. And I have a great time. I'll get a lot of questions. It's a great conversation starter. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. All right, so another question, a very interesting one. Is there such a thing as a ballet where no one dies? Yes, there is, and we're actually getting ready to do it at the end of our season. It is Don Quixote. I don't want to give away the entire storyline if you haven't seen it because I feel like you really should go and see it, or if you're in Birmingham, you should come and see us because it's going to be amazing. But yeah, Don Q is a great family comedy, I don't want to say dramatic ballet, but the characters are all very dramatic and they're all very exciting and have their own unique persona. So the storyline to see that unfold on stage, it's cheeky, it's classic because it is a historic ballet, but no one dies in that. There are some funny moments, and there's definitely some moments that are a little bit like, woo, but nobody dies in that one. That has a very happy ending, and if you want to find out more about Birmingham Royal Ballet's Don Quixote, we're doing our brand new director, Carlos Acosta's version. We are very excited to bring that to life, so if you want to find out more about that, I will put information, or actually I won't, James the editor will put that information right here for me. Thank you, James. And yeah. All right, so this next question is actually a pretty personal one. And it is, who is your dream dance partner and why? So I'm fortunate to say that yes, I have been able to dance with my dream partner, and I'm even more fortunate to have been able to have him be a part of my life for a pretty significant, if not the entirety of my adolescence and pre-professional, professional development. And so, without further ado, this person is I call him Ponchi, but his name is Francisco Serrano, and he is a ballet dancer with the Royal Ballet in London. So he is basically my next door neighbor. For those that don't know, BRB and Royal Ballet are sister companies. And so, yeah, Ponchi and I first met when we were basically just turning 13 and 14. And the reason that we met, the reason that we were partnered up together is because of his parents. And for those that don't know, his parents are my ballet teachers. They're Ariel and Wilmian. They are the head of the Sarasota Cuban Ballet School, my lovely trainers. And the day I walked through their doors, they introduced me to their son, and they were like, all right, you guys are partners, we're doing this, let's go. And the rest is history. I mean, it just kind of, it worked out in this unspeakably magical way that I still can't even wrap my head all the way around. And I have to say, I'm so lucky, I'm so fortunate to have been able to dance with some really, really amazing artists. And I still have a list of people who I would love to be able to work with in the future, or when the opportunity presents itself. But Francisco and I have been through so much together, not only as young ballet students learning and finding their way together, but as people. And I can honestly say that he is my person, my best friend, my confidant, my oftentimes my accomplice in I'm so sorry, Ponchi. He really is someone who's not a big fan of being on film, so by the time he sees this and finds out he's on YouTube, well, I'll get his permission first. But, by the time he sees this, I'm probably going to be getting a phone call from him. I'm so sorry, Ponchi. You know I adore you. But, back to the actual question. We've been dancing with each other for many, many years, and at the start of our careers, we did deviate a bit and go our own separate ways. He stayed in school longer and ended up going to Royal Ballet School, and I began my professional career at Houston Ballet, but we've always been in each other's lives. Obviously his parents and the school keeping that as a bond and our friendship being the glue to all of that, but now that we're here together in the UK, you know, this was a dream that we had together to both be dancing with the Royal Ballet Companies, and it's very rare, and to me, I find it to be one of the greatest privileges in my life is to be able to have had someone on a very similar career trajectory as myself, and being able to kind of navigate this together and come out on the other end alive, and coming out on the end of it where we wanted to be and doing that together. So that in itself was a huge, again, I'm speechless. It's something very special to me. I value his friendship. He's never let me down on stage. He's never let me down as a person. We've laughed together, we've cried together, and I think that only contributes to what we're able to do together in the studio and on stage. I have so much fun working with him, and for those of you who are in the England, London area, or in the ballet world in general, I will put his Facebook, or not his Facebook, sorry, I won't do that to you. I will put his Instagram on here so you can have a look and check him out. A few of you guys have already wrote to me asking, who is this kid? Why do you always have pictures with him? But yeah, I adore dancing with him. I'm hoping for there to be more opportunities in the future. And he's a beautiful dancer, beautiful human, and I see really amazing things coming for him in the future. So if you don't know who he is, if you haven't seen him, take a look. And Ponchi, I adore you. Thanks for letting me embarrass you on my YouTube channel. Alright, so I think that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted questions for this Q&A. This was really fun. And for those of you who didn't get your questions answered or didn't get a chance to send one in, or if you have more, you guys know what to do. You can contact me on all of my social channels. They're all allieetoile, Instagram, Facebook page, website, and YouTube. And make sure you turn on the notifications so that you don't miss anything else coming up on my channel. Thank you guys so much for following along, and I will see you next time.